Time is 7:30, and I call to order this June 1st Council Workshop meeting. We begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, begin with citizens to be heard. We don't have anybody who is scheduled in advance, but Wayne, if you have anything you want to share, no, wave us off. Meeting minutes. I will entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes of the May 4th, 2022 workshop.
So moved.
Motion by the Deputy Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Mellon. I'll call the question. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. On to the Public Safety Committee. We have a special event request. I move that Council approve a special event request submitted by Christian Muniz, 250 Walnut Street, Carlisle, Pennsylvania, to hold a fundraising event on Saturday, June 4th, 2022, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. in front of said location. The special event request includes utilizing sidewalk and reserving parking spaces directly in front of said location. Approval is contingent upon receipt of a valid certificate of liability insurance form naming the Borough of Carlisle as an additional insured. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Hicks. Any comment? I'll call the question. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. On to the Public Works Committee with a report on downtown decorative street lighting.
Good evening. In your packet, there's a memo that staff and I put together discussing downtown decorative streetlights. These are the 149 candlestick lampposts that we have along Hanover and High Street. They were installed in the early 1980s as part of an overall streetscaping project, and now we're close to 40, or a little over 40 years old. We were looking for alternatives to those lights. The current lights that we have, we're having difficulty maintaining them due to lack of parts, and also we're looking potentially to be able to convert those over to more energy efficient LED lighting. Staff looked at alternatives that were available where we could retrofit the existing poles by taking off the existing fixture and putting a new fixture on. They went through and they identified some examples, and we've placed those on 4 consecutive lamp posts on South Hanover Street near the Comfort Suite Hotel. And if you go up just a block from here and over to those, you'll see that there are little tags on each of the poles saying sample number 1 through sample number 4. Would ask council to some evening when you're in the vicinity, go by those, take a look at them, take a look at the quality of the light, and potentially provide input on whether you like any of those 4 as a potential replacement for the ones that are currently in place. Have in the memo a table that gives the estimated cost to purchase the new fixtures, and also some specifications on the type of fixture, the weight, the lighting. I know that we had discussions in the past regarding the temperature of the lights, and the American Medical Association recommendation that street lights should be 3,000 degrees Kelvin or less. All the ones that are out, the 4 samples are all 3,000 or less. There are also 3 of the 4 are also dimmable, so that gives staff the ability, depending on land use in that area, to reduce the intensity of the light. If if conditions warrant that.
Is that at the individual light, or you have to dim them all?
No, it would be on an individual light basis.
You thought of everything. Are there any questions from council?
I have a question. So, it says that the current fixtures are powered by underground wiring that does not meet current electrical code. So, if you're going to use the same wiring for the new lights, but it doesn't meet electrical code, is that?
Well, it doesn't meet it because of the draw, the amount of power that we're consuming. So by converting from high pressure sodium to LED, that brings it back down, and we would be compliant. So we would not need to replace the current wiring. We did include in the budget for this year $50,000 to replace underground wiring if we converted from LED to high pressure sodium. From high pressure sodium to LED. That we would not need to do that, and that would be a potential to use some of that funding for purchase the new lighting.
See, said he thought of everything. Any other questions, comments?
Just, I saw the payback period. Any carbon reduction estimates?
Well,
based on
I
regular use?
indicated in the memo that we currently purchase our power from a renewable source. So even though we would have less power consumption, I didn't know how to.
No, that's.
How to.
I hope we can
that.
continue to renew under those circumstances. Do we have a historic kilowatt hours for those that we could just hold on to
Yes, we have that.
that we can make a future estimate of in terms of what the savings would be, carbon footprint savings if we were to go back on PPL's default service or whatever. I think that would be useful to have. But yeah, good. Understand your point.
Yeah, the other mention regarding the payback, that's entirely related to energy savings. I did not incorporate into that any savings for staff time due to maintenance because we're not adding any additional staff or decreasing the number of staff, so didn't include that.
Are you looking for our ranking of these lights? Or are you just? Do you want us to tell you what we like?
Yes. And I also included well, maybe I didn't include him there. I included the manufacturer. There's a lot of different options as far as the finials and the coverings of the globes. If you've seen in your travels at another community something that you really liked, one of these two manufacturers probably has that as an option. It may increase or decrease the price.
I like number 3. I like that it's dimmable. I like that it has 2700 and it's priced well and it looks Art Deco-y. So that's it.
So two other things.
Go.
Just real quick. First, for probably Susan, I would like to at least know what the DCA executive director's preference were. I'm not sure this is a project that needs a poll or a but I think it since that is the key part of her client, I would take her preference into account. The other thing, this is a perfect example of we have budgeted for energy consumption in the out years. We're going to make an investment, and this is an opportunity for us to redeploy those savings into further meeting our goals. And this is a perfect example of ways I'd like to further approach some of our carbon reduction goals. But I'd offer for borough manager and council to consider, that this is a way without adding costs to future budgets that we can actually roll over improvements to be self-sustaining, and have us consider doing that. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. I knew somebody down there spoke.
Well, first I would say, I looked at the photographs and I saw them in person, and aesthetically, I'm thinking, wow, number 2 looks beautiful. And then I look at your carefully prepared memo and your chart, and of course I picked the one that is weighs the most. It does not have a built-in electrical receptacle, and it's the most expensive. So we're not going to go with my aesthetic taste on that. But I was curious, you said that because of the savings, the estimated payback period is, 17 years, or the current lights that we have date from, I think it says the early 80s. What's the expected lifespan of these lights? So we might have to replace them again. Is it more than 17 years? I would hope so.
Yes.
Councilor Stevens?
Just to clarify, do the current light poles have an electrical, an electrical outlet, an electrical receptacle that we are able to use for displays, and we currently utilize?
Yes, that was not the capability initially, but staff went through a program to install, incorporate light receptacles into the fixture.
Okay, gotcha. And of these, only the one option currently at least has the receptacle.
Yes.
Say we, ended up going with one of the other options, and then down the line wanted to add that receptacle for displays. How much does that cost, or how much did it cost previously to do that work to add it to the current light posts?
A receptacle is probably $20 to $25 cost for the parts, and then the labor to do that. And I would say the labor is probably 3 hours or so per fixture times 150 fixtures. So
okay, yeah,
it's in that range of cost.
Yeah, I just wanted to factor that into consideration as I was looking these over. So thanks.
Any other questions? Is there any advantage to having let me look at the examples. Our current fixture has sample 1, sample 4 with the top on it that would keep light from directing upward toward second-story windows, perhaps.
Okay. So a cap?
Right, the cap. Yeah, sorry. I could have just said cap, right.
So the question is
there an advantage that I know we've had some public comment in the past about and perhaps some complaints in the past about the light sort of being somewhat directed into bedroom windows, second story, third story windows. Does the cap help reduce that at all? Do you know?
It does. These are about 12 feet tall. The ones where we had the complaints about were the higher
the taller
probably
ones, yeah.
20 feet or so tall.
Okay.
Street lights.
All right, thank you. Anything else? Nothing. All right. Thank you for the update. We'll check them out. It's still going to be bright enough outside, so we're not going to be able to do it at the end of this meeting. But thank you, Mark. There is no new business. Wayne, you get one more shot at public comment if you want it. Do we have anybody by Zoom? No. Okay. This meeting is adjourned.